called for exploring. During the dialogue, the head of an Egyptian meetings, five military.
And now we are joined over the phone by Mr. Ahmad Mosallam, our tourism expert. Mr. Ahmad.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hello, sir, how are you? Mr. Ahmad, we have been just mentioning the choice of Egypt as the best tourism destination, the first one for the Suez tourists in 2021. How do you see the importance of this news?
Yeah, actually, this is really real important. Why is that? Actually, we have a role to play here. Egypt is not just a common country we visit as a place to enjoy the time. I usually say that Egypt have a role to play by anything is done in our culture, because it's related to our very old culture. So when we are chosen to be the number one destination, actually we are number one in our hearts. We are number one as Egyptians. We know that our country is having like 40% of the monuments all around the world, more than 6,730 monuments registered in the UNESCO. A lot of things that attracts people to visit Egypt. So we are not waiting for this judgment, or we are not waiting to be taking what we call it a number in the list. But the important thing is to show what we have to the people that is not knowing that. And we can do this. If you imagine that Egypt has more than 103 museums, 46 of them only in Cairo. And we're still opening some new museums. Some of the people does not know these museums. We need to promote this for the people to visit these new museums. You have about 5 museums were opened lately.
Yes. Since Mr. Ahmad
to be the number one in destinations for tourism, that's not because we are the...
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah, that's not because we are actually having the number of monuments that... The number of monuments that is important for the tourist to visit, because we are a cultural tourism country. The tourists, mainly 60% of the tourists who come to Egypt come to the resorts like Hurghada and Sharm el-Sheikh and Mosallam, and the tours that is really having the beach resort tourism, the sand and the sun and enjoying the time by water sports. They were not mainly interested in visiting the sites that we are promoting the last 2 years, actually, and the museums that we opened the last 2 years. So to be chosen, this is really important.
Yes. That would bring me, Mr. Mosallam, to ask, since you have kindly mentioned that the tourists are coming, many of them, for beach tourism in Hurghada and in Sharm el-Sheikh. That would bring me to ask about other destinations like Alexandria, the Oasis, part of Sinai. How can we promote more for these destinations like Hurghada and Sharm el-Sheikh and Luxor and Aswan?
Okay. I really want to shed light more about the role played by the role played by the government lately by opening the new museums in unusual areas. It's really important, as we know, Egypt is actually documenting our history by opening new museums and defining some of our ancient culture to the common, to introduce our real image in the past. Actually, this is to be connected with our future projects, actually. And this is the way, this is the only way. By this, we offer the tourist that is not interested in cultural tourism an opportunity to make maybe his mind up to start to think about scouting the non-classic for him. What is the non-classic for him? The non-classic for him is visiting a temple, visiting a tomb, visiting a museum, visiting a cultural heritage, because he comes to spend a good time, only come to the beachside, this thing. So by adding this, we are adding a new frequent tourist that will be interested to spend more time in the cultural tourism. And our gateway to all people's minds around the world is cultural tourism, to talk about the ancient Egyptian, the pharaonic, the historical Greco-Roman history, the Islamic, the Coptic. As I told you, there is more than 103 museums now in Egypt, and we are still opening the new museums. So by showing the new, actually, the discoveries that is brought to these new museums, it's encouraging people to see that. For example, if I'm opening a new museum in Alexandria or Kafr al-Sheikh, which is never having before any museum, and start, for example, to mention an important history of ancient Egypt heritage, like coffining, like mummification, like the cultural heritage of human and wildlife, like animal mummification. People will be aware of that, and they were never gone to this place or see this place before, so they will change their mind to visit a site.
Indeed, Mr. Ahmad Mosallam, our tourism expert, many thanks for being with us and for your precious input. Our dear viewers will go to a short break, and after that we'll be back to resume our segments in Cairo local time. So stay tuned.